Yo guys, how's it going? We haven't seen each other for a few days, obviously, after the unfortunate events that happened in Fiorentina Inter. I didn't even watch the game, and yeah, there was no game in the end because of what happened to Edo Bove. But we're here today to talk about obviously tomorrow's game, on to the next one, Inter versus Parma. But actually, before we get into that, today we had the announcements, the draw for the Club World Cup. I know it's so far away, all the way in you know, was it June, July? Like it still feels like it's not real, it's not happening. I'm still not really excited about it, but we're starting to get there. We're starting to get there. Today the whole draw ceremony happened with the Alessandro Del Piero, the Juve legend, being there. There was R9 was there. Other legends and stuff. It's starting to go there. This kind of imagery and visuals of all the different teams and players that will be there. It is exciting, as a concept of all the best clubs in the world facing off against each other. I'm not saying that's not exciting, but it's the fact that it will be held at the end of the season with this weird contract situation because it's after some players' contracts expire. They're even going to be like fully putting their effort in. They're going to be you know shortening their own holidays and the start of next season. Like, yeah, I don't know. To me, with all these games being played, it's just hard to get excited about more games. But I have to admit, they are doing a good job of it in terms of promoting. I mean, this is the actual trophy for the Club World Cup, and it does look quite nice. I have to admit, it's got the kind of the plate and the platform at the bottom. It looks really nice, and apparently it was designed by Tiffany, the jeweler makers, whatever they are, Tiffany's, Tiffany's. We go and shopping at Tiffany's, and then this is into the group. If you haven't seen it, just literally a few minutes before I started recording, it was announced. Very nice, interesting group for Inter: Argentina, Mexico, and Japan. River Plate, Monterrey, and Urawa Red Diamonds. Talk to me, guys. I have not much idea. I know about River Plate, but I have really very, very little clue about Monterrey, Urawa Red. So if you guys have, I'm interested to learn more about these teams, and there'll be some interesting matchups. But of course, Inter should be favorite in this group, probably followed by River Plate. But that's because I only know most about River Plate, and I feel like the Argentinian league should be the most competitive, more compared to the Mexican or the Japanese. But there could be some surprises. But yeah, interesting matchups. And then in terms of the total World Cup as well, it's looking quite interesting. Some of these groups, was there's one group, it was kind of like Group F, guys: Brazil, Germany, Korea, South Africa. I mean, it doesn't get more worldwide than that. So yeah, very interesting groups, interesting teams, and I'm interested to I'll definitely, obviously I will watch it. Hopefully the timings are not too bad for Europeans, but it is held in North America, so it might not be perfect, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. What do you guys think of it? You guys let me know in the comments down below. What do you make of this group? Are you excited yet about this World Cup? And yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, if Inter are in it, I want Inter to win it, of course. And more and more sponsors and money is being poured into this. Obviously, the further into going this, the more money we can make and help us in the transfer window as well. So obviously, for those reasons, I will be supporting Inter as always, as always. But anyway, let's move on to the main topic for today's video, which is Inter versus Parma. Of course, first talking about what happened last week. I chose not to make content for content's sake. About the whole Edoardo Bove situation. As I said, on Sunday, I was away. I posted about it to you guys on the community tab that, see you guys on Monday because I'm not going to be here for live stream reaction. Then I was, away with family, and I just thought I'd check, I usually try not to check the Inter score too much, but then I checked. I think it was like around halftime or something, and I went on my phone and it was like, abandoned game? What the hell happened? And maybe this is me, bad mind, but Serie A game, abandoned. Put two and two together. I thought, oh, something racist, a racist incident must have happened. That was my first thought. Luckily, it wasn't a typical Serie A moment. It was, well, actually, not luckily. Unfortunately, it was actually something really bad for an individual, Edoardo Bove, who, luckily, God willing, is in good shape, has recovered, is breathing, speaking, and doing things as normal. But it looks like his career in Italy might be over for now. For what we understand, similar to the Ericsson situation, then probably have to put an implant in his heart, which means that via the Italian Olympic Committee rules, it's not the Serie A rules, it's the CONI, the Olympic Committee, which says you can't partake in professional sports if you have an implant in your heart. So Edo Bove looks like he will have to continue his career elsewhere outside of Italy, which might be a good thing for him. Who knows? But good to see at least that he's back in shape. And it was the good right decision not to continue that game. I saw the I haven't managed to catch any of the highlights of what happened. I know that Inter had a goal disallowed, and also know that that goal was correctly disallowed because Dumfries was out of bounds and Lautaro turned in, which is a shame. Lautaro scoring, which I did predict. But outside of that, I haven't seen anything. But yeah, when you saw the moment of when Bove went down to the ground after he was doing his laces, fell to the ground. Dumfries and Hakan, shouts out to them, reacted like in a split second, and every single player then formed a circle around Bove. It was really good to see the sportsmanship and the way things like this can bring teams together. And yeah, you could see some of the players, some of them were in tears, distraught, and yeah, it was the right decision not to continue. And now that we're getting more of these cases, I think we at least understanding how to deal with them better. But that should mean, in theory, yes, there might be some maybe emotional, dump from that game. But what was it played? Around 30 minutes, I think, of that game. This is nice for Inter. Inter finally having a bit of rest. I know that Inzaghi gave the boys a day off the day after, so they came back from Firenze, from Florence, and the day after Inzaghi gave them a day off, which is nice. We've played so much football, these guys. Inzaghi has rotated them very well. I think Inzaghi has done the best outside of all the Italian coaches in terms of his rotation. We will see, I think, the fruits of this early rotation from Inzaghi in the second half of the season, because some teams are not getting to do it, like Juve. They can't do it. They literally can't do it. And I think this will drain them even further in the second half of the season, because their players are already having to play so many minutes without having rest. And yeah, Inzaghi, on the other hand, has been rotating very, very nicely. Champions League, Serie A, and now we've got the Coppa Italia coming in. We will have the Super Coppa. Don't forget, in January, the Super Coppa will be in Saudi Arabia again, if I remember correctly. So definitely, as I said since day one, I'm very happy with Inzaghi's rotation this season. But no rotation when it comes to the Fiorentina game. Yeah, to the Fiorentina game, to the Parma game, zero rotation. The exact same team that took the field against Parma, against Fiorentina, is going to take the field against Parma. Zielinski is the one I would like to see in there again. We've mentioned it. We've talked about it. We want to see the Hakan, Barella, Zielinski midfield continuing. But we know also at the same time that Mkhitaryan, it's going to take something, it's going to take continuous poor games from Mkhitaryan to be dropped. But I'm not losing sleep over it. One thing I am happy about that I discussed is that Dumfries looks like has become the starter once again now. Again, maybe is also similar to when Augusto was injured, because he is the left wing. We was the left wing backup in the same case here because of Pavard's injury. Darmian now is the only real right centre back backup. So again, for that reason, I still think that Dumfries is starting because of that, not because he has become the starter. But let's just say for now, at least he is starting. He continues to start, and it's good. Dumfries is one of those players that I think does play better the more he plays continuously back to back games. So that's good. And yeah, Thuram, Lautaro up front. looking forward to them to hopefully linking up a bit better. Hopefully Lautaro can score again this time, not a disallowed goal. We definitely need Lautaro to step up to the plate, and Thuram to continue his form. Nothing to say for me in this starting 11. And Acerbi might be back on the bench, but on this at the moment on this is Sky Sport Italia doesn't put him there yet. Augusto will be back on the bench, as I read earlier today. Augusto and Acerbi will be back. So yeah, Palacios is probably not going to get those minutes that we thought he was going to get. On the other side, Parma, nice team. Definitely, if you followed my FC25 videos, PS5 journey, race to Division 1, you'll know I have a soft spot for Parma, not just because of the FIFA games in general. Over the years, the 90s team, the Parma team from the 90s, I used to really like their kits, some of their players, like, Cannavaro, Thuram, Buffon, Chiesa, Crespo. They had a really, really interesting team back in the 90s. And even like, in the early 2000, the late 2000s, early 2010s, Parma team with like Cassano, Biabiani, Giovinco. Like, I don't know, I've always had a soft spot from Parma because I am from that part, obviously not really near Parma, but I am from Emilia Romagna region, so I do have a soft spot for all those teams from around that part of Italy. And I was seeing earlier today actually that we seem to have kind of like a weird they might be kind of like a newfound, I didn't realize, a bit of a bogey team for us. I mean, let me show you this from Sky Sport in Italy, who posted this. Obviously some games we're going back to 2013, 2015, 2018, 2019. But the last time we played Parma, it was 2-2. So yeah, this is San Siro game. So yeah, this is games at San Siro versus Parma. So it seems to be like a weird, like kind of a bit of a bogey team for us over the years at San Siro. So hopefully that's not the case tomorrow. In terms of players to watch from Parma, you guys know the guy that I've put in the profile. If you don't know, Bonnie, he's amazing for me on FIFA. But outside of FIFA, I do really like him in real life. I think he could be a potential vice Thuram, or even long term. Let's see how he develops. But a really good profile of a striker, strong as an ox, good pace, good dribbling abilities. Finishing needs a lot of work, needs a lot of refining, but he's 21, 22 years old, even maybe younger than that. That's a good player there. That's a good player that I wouldn't mind seeing at Inter in the future. Bernabeu is the other one, but obviously he's injured. He's out for a few months, actually. Everyone's favorite post Aslani, from what I hear, what I see on Twitter, but a nice player. Del Prato, one of the defenders, very much a utility player. Suzuki, the goalkeeper. Balog, one of the centre backs. Nice team. And then Cancellieri, if you interested in young Italian talents. Nice team, and they've been performing well in Serie A, in general, but they had a discipline problem. They had quite a few red cards. I think they've got the most red cards in Serie A this season at the moment. Let's have a quick check. Yes, they do. And in terms of Serie A table, they're 11th, nicely mid-table, 15 points. But they do concede a lot of goals, 22 goals conceded, but they do score quite a lot as well, 20 goals. You have to go all the way up until Milan, 7th position, to find a team that has scored more goals than Parma. So definitely got to watch out for them defensively, Inter. And I do predict us maybe conceding a goal, but maybe, fresh legs, we should be good. Yeah, I'm going to go for a nice, comfortable home win to keep the pressure on Napoli, keep the pressure at the top to Atalanta as well and the other teams. I'm going for a 2-0 win for Inter, Lautaro, Thuram. That's my prediction. You let me know yours in the comments down below. See you on the next one. Let me know your thoughts about the Club World Cup, as I said. And I will be here for tomorrow, the post-match reaction. Ciao ragazzi, always, Forza Inter.